am Donald Kooiker. I'm from the Netherlands, and I'm a game developer, obviously. And LuckSlinger is a hip-hop spaghetti western game. I think it's always best to go with the theme. So, you know, the genre is obviously platformer, but then you get all into this technical stuff and all the different genres, but most people want to know what the theme is.
So it's PC only. How come no console port or anything like that?
Yeah, it's actually way better on the console. The console port is pretty much done.
Oh, okay, so it is coming.
Yeah, it is definitely coming, but we ran into a lot of difficulties. We use Unity as an engine, and it's supposed to be like a couple clicks, and then you're done for the console you picked. Obviously a bit more than that, but it should be relatively easy. But we ran into lots of trouble, so it took long.
Could you talk more about the struggle with the console port?
The console port, the main struggle is that the console, we call them developers, they don't want Unity 4, they want to use Unity 5, and we made it in Unity 4. So we had to upgrade, and basically all our physics were ruined. So basically every hitbox we had in the game and all the physics of a bullet and of a jump, they all had to be redone in a way. That was most of the, that was the biggest hurdle by far. And we tried to say, yeah, but this game runs perfectly on Unity 4, and we made it for this, and it was basically no go. So,
wow, that's. I find it funny that the code can transfer over to Unity 5. It's that big of a jump.
Well, I'm not the programmer. I don't know too much about it, but it's basically everything sort of remains intact, you know. But let's say that everything is off by a weird standards that you don't understand why.
Okay, yeah, I think I get it. It's basically just nomenclature then, like you gotta. Yeah. Okay, I see. All right. Well, so everything's running now. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the reason I said earlier why it's better on the console. Yeah, it's like I wouldn't necessarily say it's better, but most people, if you take your time a little bit, and because the PC is sometimes kind of stressful, like you sit in a different way, and maybe the screen is smaller, you sit close or whatever.
Yeah.
And with this game is really kind of made to sit on the couch. You know, I don't know. To me, it gives a completely different experience. But
yeah, I would say that was probably my number one reason for not playing it as much. Was because it was on my computer. Okay, so cool. I'm actually looking. I can't wait for it to come out on consoles.
Yeah. We don't have a date yet, but it shouldn't be too far.
Cool. Like this year, 2016.
No, probably not.
Oh, okay. All right. What inspired the creation of this game?
Me and my friend programmer, we were just making a ton of games, and we were doing a thing called one game a month, where we just tried to make one game a month, and we never really finished anything because then like you have to move on. Yeah, like a game jam. And we were like, we really gotta make one complete product because this is fun and it's a good learning experience. Let's just do it. So at that point, we decided to just go all in, and we just came together and we checked mostly my notes with my notebook with shitty ideas. Well, we saw that I wrote something like luck as a collectible, and then we were just like, let's Google if this exists, and that's kind of how it started. And all the rest, like if it was a western, that was not decided yet, or if it was hip hop as well, was also not decided. We just like got this tiny sentence to work on.
Wow, interesting. So what were some of the other games that you guys created together?
Well, we can't really call them games that much. They're mostly you can find them on Game Jolt as well. Yeah, they're prototypes, maybe slightly, no, not even bigger than prototypes, but really? Also, yeah, just small games. But we did make one sort of final challenge for ourselves, and that was like a mobile game called 15 Minute Max. which is just a free game to see like our final sort of own exam before we would do a big release for Steam, basically. See if we could take a tiny idea and at least finish that before moving on to big things.
So did any ideas from those other games, could we see anything of that in LuckSlinger?
No, not really.
Okay.
There's a cameo. There's a cameo of a character, but that's about it. Like
in which game? What? Which?
Oh, I mean, 50-minute maxes can be found in LuckSlinger.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So it's not. I thought LuckSlinger could be found in one of those other games.
Oh,
okay.
no.
Okay, okay. You're from the Netherlands, right?
Yep.
Are Western movies a big thing in Holland? Like, how did that come up?
I don't know how big. I think the big spaghetti westerns are probably famous everywhere. Maybe they're too old for some generations, but I know they were cool to me. So
yeah,
I guess.
How did the luck element of the game, like how did that get developed?
That took like insanely long time of just trying stuff out, because in the game design world, like doing these rules this was completely new because we had nothing to look at. We had some games that, like, you have RPGs where you have luck and then they change some of your stats. They also change some of your loot, but no, we had no reference on how you should actually change levels or how you should visually show how luck works. So we had all these different types of basically luck indicators and how low or high your level could go. So right now you have no luck at all, or you have a maximum of 8. And in the beginning there was all these, I don't know, I think you could go to -20 and +20 and
bad luck.
yeah, exactly. But so I don't know, we just kept it's pretty hard to pinpoint exactly how it went, but we just kept changing and changing.
When did you guys figure out, like, okay, this is the version we're gonna go with?
Yeah, I don't really know a specific, time frame, but I think we just ended on 8 because we like to keep our numbers small. We didn't like, you start with 3 HP, so we thought that it should be sort of in the same range. We didn't want to go for 10 because then if you get to 10 luck, maybe for some people it feels like you're 100%, but it shouldn't be 100% because you can't be 100% lucky because it wouldn't be fair. So yeah.
So no lucky number 7.
No, it's not there.
I'm up to level 3. And really time is the only thing keeping me back. A lot of the things, it took me a while to kind of figure out. But when you're playing like the Russian roulette, if you had high luck, then you would basically win. I didn't know that. Like, I wasn't thinking like that for some reason. So it took me a while to figure that out. One thing I didn't figure out though was there's a time when you could throw like a little bit of luck on the floor, or like flick some luck up or something like that.
Oh yeah, I think you mean the coin flip.
Yeah. What does that do? I couldn't.
Nothing.
Okay, all right. Okay, so it's just completely aesthetics then. Okay.
Yeah, we figured out that we wanted to do something with the coin flip. One time I think we were playing on an event, or some people were playing. When you defeat a boss, you sort of can pick if you take him to jail or just shoot him. And I think someone said something like, I can't decide. And we're like, oh, you can't decide? Okay. Let's just add a coin flip in the game that does nothing else besides 50-50 coin flip.
You can't tell though, right? Like if it lands on...
No, you can. It shows up in the UI, but you see if you have heads or tails anyway.
I see. Huh. All right, I have to pay attention to that now. Interesting.
Yeah. No, it's slightly hidden, so don't worry about it.
I'm glad I asked then. Okay, I was worried. I was like, I don't want to ask a stupid question. And it's a widely known fact, but I just couldn't figure. Okay, good.
No, you made all the mistakes basically that you can make if you start making an indie game. Like also from a, business point of view, I guess, or maybe a marketing point of view, or also just like game design mistakes. We were inspired by all the games that gave us a hard time, so we kind of wanted to do the same, where you just have to figure it out, and we tried as much as possible to... it's a difficult game, so we didn't want to make it easy, but we tried as much as possible to punish you too hard. So for example, the first jump you can't really fail, like even if you keep walking, you should not fall in the first bit, like those tiny things. But we did figure out that on giving players everything at the start was probably too much. Our idea was that you will master it when you need it, but most people, they got too invested in, or their habit was too much to play one way, and then to suddenly tell them, hey, you could also do this, you learned it in the beginning, didn't really work out. It's too much at once.
You said that you kind of learned some stuff as far as marketing stuff goes. I'm really interested to hear that.
Well, we just learned some lessons, you know. For example, if you want to email press, you email them like way before, and then again 2 emails or 2 weeks before, and then again like, for example, if you have a trailer, then you email them again on this day. Never bring old news as well. Like, most websites really don't care if you say, yo, we had a trailer 2 days ago, or, you know, we had an award, or we were selected for this, or can you come visit? Like, that things was all, we learned that sort of the hard way. Also, we didn't really know you have to go to as many, or at least sign up for as many awards as possible, because it's basically the cheapest marketing if you get selected for something. Because, you know, it's like, well, it's not free, you still have to pay the fees, but it's easier. So those were also mistakes made.
Huh. I didn't know you had to sign up for those awards. I thought, you know, they sort out the games and...
No. You have to find all
the
festivals and sign yourself up and why, and write everything down.
Oh, wow.
And also marketing, like the one mistake we didn't make was most people, they make the game and then in the end we'll do the marketing, but you should start at least on social media and on Reddit and on whatever, just start doing updates about your game and trying to get people in.
You know, yeah, I actually read an article, I found it on Twitter. Could have been you that posted it for all I know, but somebody posted something about, it was an article on that. It's more interesting. People are more interested in on undeveloped games or games that are in development rather than finished games.
Yeah.
It wasn't you who posted that, was it?
No.
Okay,
it wasn't.
all right. Yeah, it was an interesting read. Yeah. You said that you guys started to make this game like it was a 1 month a game challenge. When did you feel like, okay, this should go on past a month and it should move into a full game?
Well, with this idea, we were prepared. We were more setting out like, what can we do if we would spend way more time on it. Okay. So this one wasn't like, holy shit, we ran out of time and we still have so much to do. This was more, we knew how many levels and bosses, and it was pretty well planned out.
Was there any prototype for the game, or you guys just went straight into it?
I don't know, I guess because we were too uncertain people would like it, we released a, I guess you could call it alpha or maybe a prototype, and we put it on Game Jolt and on Newgrounds, and it was pretty shitty, but it got the idea of a Western hip-hop with luck. Like, at least it sent that idea out, and everybody, all I can say, loved it, but most people just really liked it, so that was really our boost of, okay, so we are doing something good, and we can just keep doing what we're doing and finish it, basically.
Nice. So that Newgrounds version is still up?
Yeah, I think it's still up.
Okay, good. Nice.
I think there's no animations for the character, something like that. I think he just jumps and you see picture jump.
Oh.
But yeah.
Well, I'm definitely gonna play it now. How did the hip hop get introduced into the game?
A friend of mine, we used to screw around and make hip hop beats together, and he made a shitload of beats by himself. And it was pretty cool because he has this sort of hard drive full of unfinished beats, basically. And I was always telling him, like, why don't you, first of all, never finish anything, and why do you have so many? And, like, it makes no sense. I know it's pretty cool as a hobby, but maybe you should do something with it. Then, I don't know if you know it, but there's an anime called Samurai Champloo. And it's a Japanese anime, and it's about, they mix hip-hop and samurai. And it works extremely well, and it's extremely cool. And then we thought, if you can mix hip hop and samurai, you can definitely mix hip hop and boys.
Yeah. Holy moly! Yeah, no, it's a really good thing.
And we're all hip hop heads or hip hop fans, so we were as soon as we got that idea, like, I don't know why we didn't think of it earlier, but we were super hyped to, do as much with it as we can, like graffiti-wise and lyrics and rhymes and stuff like that.
It's so cool. It is so cool. That duck.
Yeah.
How did the duck come into the picture? I tried to like make some connection between the westerns and the duck. It just feels like there's some connection, but I couldn't.
Yeah. I don't really know. Oh no, yeah, it came actually from the idea that you're this. Well, it doesn't really matter. You can play like a good guy, but you're still basically some badass guy with no name. And we wanted to give. I don't know. I think I read somewhere that. I don't know. It was just like based on the fact that how you can see someone's personality based on how he treats animals or people that are way lower than him. So we thought maybe we can just give him like a shitload of character if he has at least someone he cares about, instead of only because the point with the spaghetti westerns is that they're all infamous stars of the show, so they're all basically bad guys and drunks, and they only care about money. So we thought that that's cool and all, but we can at least give him some sort of, more good guy vibe. And then we were thinking, okay, let's give him a pet or some friend, animal friend. And then we decided it has to be something that flies, because it's way easier to program, and it's way, you can just fly and sort of ignore the collision instead of, because we obviously said, okay, a wolf, because it's cool, and but then he has to follow you perfectly and do all the stuff. So I guess also because our company logo is a duck, we decided why not just a duck.
It works.
And so that's mostly why. We also thought it was hilarious if the duck would. I don't know if you saw it, but he picks up your throwing knife.
Yeah, I noticed.
So if we were like, he's not a dog, but he acts like one.
Speaking about the throwing knife, when did you guys think that was a good idea?
I think that is, at least in my book, the best idea that I had. Because it adds this one element of, first of all, skill. Because every time we see people play, we really see people that try to use the knife at the beginning. It's way harder, but it also has a pretty much payoff. The second reason was that it gives you something to do in the air, because you can't reload in the air, but you can throw your knife in from the air. So that's like one way to deal more damage than just standing and shooting, and then pick it up obviously and at the right time and throw it again. So.
Yeah, interesting. I'm still trying to for the first few times when I tried to kill a boss, I tried to end it with a knife shot, but of course when you reach the end, you really can't think too much about that. Is there an achievement for that by any chance?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because right now I'm playing without achievements. I'm playing from the Game Jolt client. So, yeah. So I really didn't know. Which Western movies could we see influences in there? Like, I think an obvious one is the scarf that he's wearing, like from Clint Eastwood.
There is quite a lot. I didn't watch all the Westerns, obviously, because there's too many. But mostly the Dollar
Fistful of
trilogy.
Dollars.
Yeah. There's some reference. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if you want me to name all the references. Let's say that the vibe is like the overall vibe was definitely there. He kind of looks like him. He smokes cars. There's also some reference to other westerns. I don't know what's it called in Italian. Something about Silencio or something. It was also an Italian western about a guy that can't talk. So later in the game, there's also a guy that can talk. There's a guy from Django in it.
Okay, yeah, I'm not too familiar with the westerns. Only the really, really old ones.
Yeah, but was also lots of the music score was also really. We were inspired by making the most grand and big sounding music for it. So.
Yeah, the music. You guys definitely went all out. Are there any maybe hidden Easter eggs or references or something that the average player may not notice that is in there somewhere?
Yeah. I can tell the biggest one. Because, I don't know. It's not packed with Easter eggs, but there's definitely a few. The coolest one, in my opinion, is that any boss can die without you doing anything.
Okay, so I thought maybe I hit a glitch. I did something. It was to the first boss. I don't know what on earth I did. He died like right away before like anything happened. The thing is, I guess the good thing is I have it recorded, so I could go back and look at it. Yeah, well, yeah, I was recording the gameplay, so I have to go back and look at it and see exactly what happened.
You're you're a lucky man.
Really?
I would say. Yeah, because the idea is that you can get so lucky that something happens that he doesn't even start the fight. So if it was the first boss, then he just blew himself up.
Right. Yeah. That's exactly what happened. Yes. So, but that was after playing him a few times.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah. Well, your odds don't increase if you keep playing. It's still an insanely tiny odd, but I guess you can get lucky. There's also achievement for that. So normally, or at least on Steam, you know that it's supposed to. It's supposed to happen.
I'm really happy that you guys made the guy black.
Because we're also very happy about it.
Yeah, no, it's like it's not something you would see. But then again, you wouldn't see a guy with a duck or or so many things. So like it works so well. I really like the vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite level in the game?
Never got that question before, for sure. I think level 5.
Why?
You're not there yet.
No, I'm not there yet.
Well, I think it says my favorite music, so that helps. Second of all, it has a slightly different tone as the rest. That's all I can sort of say. It's just, not that it gets super serious all of a sudden, but it gets a little bit more serious.
And which boss is your favorite boss?
6. Oh, that's also something that's inspired actually by Western. There's of course I forgot the name now, but there's a Western where there's this Polish henchman all the time. So the boss 6 is 2 bosses at the same time, basically. And well, it works really well. They throw hats towards each other.
So how did you guys like follow? I don't want to say a formula, but like it's very Mega Man-esque. Was it difficult coming up with like a pattern that was difficult yet doable? Not
too much. It's actually also a way we worked. First of all, we just said, I don't know if you care, but there's 6 bosses, 6 levels, 6 bosses. I mean, it gets said somewhere, but we just set that number because we thought it was a good number. And from there, we didn't know exactly where we were going, but we were sort of making it from start to finish. And I'm pretty sure that's not how they do things in in other studios, so to speak. Like, I think it works if you're in a very small team. But to me, it's a giant plus because every time you have to keep surprising yourself. So, you played level 1, you finished level 1, you keep playing it, and then you get to level 2, and you have to come up with new stuff. And you know exactly what was behind you, and that's kind of the most. But the bosses were all kind of set because I just wrote the sort of descriptions of what types of characters they are. Because they all have their own sort of motivations, and the levels were all. It's pretty easy because we just wanted to change it up a little bit, so. It's like the first one is just a bit desert, and then, well, what do other games do? They usually go to caves or to minecarts. So, it wasn't. I guess we stole a lot from that in that way.
The second boss. He reminded me of Rolento from Street Fighter. Is there any connection there, or is that just me?
Okay. Who is he from Street Fighter? Because I know most characters, but
I think he got introduced in Street Fighter Alpha and Street Fighter Alpha 2. Rolento. He's this commando kind of guy. I mean, that's the only way I could describe him.
Okay, no, I don't know.
Okay, all right. And one of the moves on Street Fighter that Rolento had was he would kind of like throw bombs. You know, so I wanted to ask a question about like taking the boss dead or alive. I couldn't come up with a question though. It's like it was just so different. Is there any difference with carrying them in dead or alive?
No.
I read something that if you carry them in all alive, that there's like a different thing at the end. I'm not sure if I read. There's a lot of weird information that I've been getting, so I don't want to take too much of that.
No, it's. I think there's really no big difference. I mean, it's obviously a little bit different because you're talking to someone else or whatever. Someone else gives you your reward, but there's no big difference. And the reason was mostly because there's a lot of games that reward you for either good or bad, and I really dislike that idea, because then you start doing something because it's good or bad. So my hope was that people would judge every boss if he even deserves to live or not. That's why you also get some backstory on who they are, what they do.
Interesting.
I really remember playing Deus Ex, where I was really involved, and you don't really get. Of course, you get some reward because maybe you're helping someone out, but some people in the game, I just let live because I thought that they should live in a way. Yeah.
Interesting. You also, if you let them live, you get to see them in the jail cell, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Yeah. Because I only beat 2. One of them died right away. The other one I took back alive. So I noticed that I saw them in there.
Yeah, it gets pretty fun in the in the jail when they're all in there.
Yeah. Wonder what they're doing. Anyway. Besides the porting part where you had to do the Unity thing, was there any other challenging aspect of designing the game or anything along those lines? Anything challenging?
Or in general, or for console, or what?
No, so just in general, and in the creation of the game. And I'll tell you that one reason that I ask this, right, is because even though I teach kids geometry, I do teach them what do they call this class again? Advisory, where you advise them, you know, and stuff. And one of the lessons, I didn't create the lesson, but I don't create the advisory lessons. They give me like what it is I should teach, and like one of them, it's like a plan for like not only graduating high school but graduating, going into college, and like just in life, for life in general. And one of them is that you might set out to make a plan, but almost always you're gonna hit a bump in the road, a hurdle, right? And even though I knew that was true, I found that to be true in so many other things. So that's one of the reasons I kind of ask this question when I do these interviews. Yeah.
I can't really say that we ran into something big. I know what you mean. Like mostly this, you get some point, but oddly enough, this was pretty much smooth sailing. Besides for all the tiny, the console port, but also all the tiny things, but nothing really major.
Guess you ran into luck.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, like there's lots of problems, but they're all just tiny technical things. You know, like how do we get this to happen, or and also I would usually come up with ideas that are too crazy, and then the programmer would say, no, that's not what we're gonna do.
Let's keep it humble.
Yeah.
Could you name like some of those things?
Well, I can name some of the things that I sort of pushed through, and that is that you can play poker in the game, which he basically had to program from scratch. And It's like,
Okay.
I don't know. It looks easy if you think about it, you know.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, you just program poker, but you run into so many, and then it starts taking so much time, and then you start wondering, why am I? You know, this is not gonna make the game that much better, and it's not gonna sell more copies just because you can play poker, because you can play poker anywhere.
Yeah.
But I thought it would be cool.
Yeah.
So yeah. And one other thing that was cancelled is there was also not. I guess I'm pretty pushy. It was also not entirely cancelled, but I wanted to have sort of a mini boss fight in every level. That there's a guy that keeps returning. But he sort of got in there, but just not in the levels. But he's in the town. I don't know if you met him yet. But
No, I can't say I have. You know, I think maybe there's someone there, and I just didn't realize what he is as yet.
Yeah, that's possible.
Okay, so yeah, I guess your biggest hurdle would actually be like the console port. Like almost everyone I speak to, like there's something.
Yeah.
So have you played any other Western themed games?
When we were making it, everyone said that it looks like a Super Nintendo game.
For sure.
It's also because there's six levels, 6 bosses, and there's a wanted poster at the start. But I never played the game before. I did play some other crazy Western game on the SNES, but really not too many. I played Red Dead Redemption, and when we started, we realized that there's another game made with pixel art, and it's also a Western called Westerado. Definitely check that out right away.
I have to look at that.
Most of the game influence was just other games, I guess. And Mega Man was obviously a big one.
Oh yeah, I definitely feel that in there. For sure.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, the fact that you can't really shoot up was already kind of taken.
Yeah. See, I didn't think about it until you just said that. Yeah, interesting. I didn't realize that there were quite a few other like 2D pixel Western games out there. Like I know wait, I forgot what they call it. Gunman Clive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that one's pretty good as well. I'm playing it on DS. Yeah, there are a few others out there. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about your programming background, but you said you don't know how to program.
Yeah.
Okay. Like at all, or?
At the university I did have to learn ActionScript because the first games we made were all in ActionScript. And I can program some website stuff, but really not.
Okay. So if you don't mind me asking, what did you go to school for? Like, did you go to school for game design, or?
Yeah, I went to school for, it's called interactive media, so there was making websites and other applications and stuff like that. But after year one was mostly programming, and after year one I switched direction. After that I studied game development, but I left. So
interesting. So do you think what you did there took you in the direction you are now?
Yeah, it took me in a direction for sure. But I think, especially in the game industry, you can come from many different directions. You can come into it. They're not a graduation paper that's specifically game development or anything. It's really not necessary. My friend is a software developer, so you know, it all works.
Yeah, and in fact, I was listening to I'm not sure if you listen to any of the IGN podcasts.
No.
They do one recently. They started a monthly podcast called Unfiltered, and they did one with Peter Moore, and I was really shocked by his pathway into the gaming industry. Yeah, you know who Peter Moore is, right? Okay. I didn't want to assume too much. Yeah, and he actually started off. It's crazy. He was a teacher in England, and then he came to America with basically nothing. He like left everything, came with nothing. Started to sell shoes on the back of his car, then like worked for some company that Reebok bought over, and then like he tried to develop Reebok, and then I think Sega sought him out only for his skills, and like I guess communicate, like dealing with those type of businesses, and I mean it was just insane. Like, holy moly, there really are so many pathways in.
Yeah, but it's also in the game industry, like they don't look at your CV too much as well. But if, for example, if you studied philosophy and you made games, that's already, it's a very interesting match. Or if you studied history and you made games, or art and you make games, because
interesting.
Anyone can make games. I think that's the most important part. Like, you really, I don't want to say something bad, but you really don't need. You can learn it by yourself. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, with lots of trial and error, obviously, but you're gonna run into that anyway. So.
Sure. Yeah. These days, I'm finding less of a value in, like standardized education.
Yeah. Okay. I also realized that whatever you study, you have to do it for yourself.
Well, that's basically it.
Yeah, because if you go, at least in Holland, you can finish lots of classes, you can pass them all, but if you don't put in extra effort, then it's not really enough. So you can do it for the teachers, but yeah.
Right, exactly.
It's not that they don't care, but it's not their future. So.
Yeah. And like I see education as such, like more and more for business. And it's like, don't really need you. I just need the credentials. I just need someone to say, okay, he actually did do this, and this. So yeah, it's just one big business.
Give me one.
Any hidden retro gems any hidden retro gaming gems, I should say, that you know of, you love, but you don't think a lot of people know about out there?
That's a very cool question, first of all. In the retro gaming gem, like, I think I would almost say pretty boring, because I pick all the ones that everyone else picks. Maybe they
sure.
I'm just trying to think. SNES. I think whatever I would say would have heard before. Right.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Well, any modern indie games then that you might have played that you don't think too many other people might know of out there?
What's the game I played? Liked? No, I don't. I also don't go too deep in that direction either. So.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I myself.
It's also like, I gotta be honest. I have less time to play games, and whenever I play games, that's something I can warn anyone that wants to start making games. You're not gonna enjoy games as much as you're used to, because I just look at things. I played. It's actually a funny example, because I played Minish Cap before. Legend of Zelda Minish Cap. Way before I started doing this, and a couple weeks ago I played it again, and all I'm doing is checking why they did it or how they did it. And it's, some people say that you can just turn it off and you can just enjoy a game. If I want to hype one game, because I can, I would say The Witness, but it's also not really like unknown, but it is a game that went straight into my top 5, I would say.
Yeah, I definitely want to play The Witness. You played Braid, which was his other game. Yeah. I mean, that kind of started off the whole scene, if you ask me.
Yeah.
At least from a consumer's point of view, I didn't really know about the smaller indie games as much. And then when that hit, I was like, wait a minute, there's a whole other scene out there that I don't really know too much about.
Yeah, it showed the industry that there's good stuff there as well.
Yeah.
You know, not just browser games.
What are your thoughts on the Nintendo Switch? And will LuckSlinger come to it?
I hate it. Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not hyped at all, and I'm pretty much. Well, I was a huge Nintendo fanboy, basically, forever. No, I'm not. I can't say I'm hyped. It's sad.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I don't know. I was also super surprised when I checked online that everyone's excited about it. I don't know. I just don't really get it.
Well, okay, you don't understand like their market.
Yeah. No, I also don't understand why everyone's so excited about it.
I'll tell you why I'm excited about it though. Only because I don't have room for another system. But somehow I think I could find room for this system.
Yeah.
And it will give me the chance to play Mario, which is really what I always wanted the opportunity to have.
But do you own 3DS?
Yeah, right. Yeah. You know, I hate playing handheld games.
Oh, okay.
I had to resort to it basically. I had no other choice.
Maybe that's also the difference, because I love handheld games. Even when I'm at home, I can play handheld games. I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah, because many people say, yeah, it's good for a train or for a plane, but I really like just sitting on the couch or wherever I want.
Right. If I cannot carry this thing anywhere else, I have to stay home and play it. Well, anyway, thank you again so much.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. Thank you for the time.
You're welcome. It was cool.